he came back and he walked around with his people for about 40 days. And he told them not to leave Jerusalem, but to wait there for the Father's promise. And the Father had promised that the Holy Spirit would come not many days after that. And he told them that when the Spirit came, that they would have power and that they would be witnesses. They were going to go forth. They were going to go into Judea. They were going into Jerusalem. They were going into Samaria and to even the remotest parts of the earth. And then Jesus was taken up to heaven. And the angel spoke to him, and he did tell them the same Jesus, the way he is leaving, he's going to come right on back. And you know, that's the very thing about it. So, you know, we were talking this morning about Antichrist, we were talking about deceivers. People will come and tell you from time to time, and nobody's come and told me, but I've heard people say that there are people walking around who would tell them that they're Jesus. But you know what? He's not. He did not come from the sky. We can't believe it. He has told us everything that God said up to today has come true. And we can believe his word. See, we have a history with him. Even we, as we are witnesses just like they were. And he told them that these disciples, they call this book the Acts of the Apostles. And the reason it's called the Acts of the Apostles is because Jesus said that he had to go away in order for the Holy Spirit to come. And God had said that the Holy Spirit was going to come. And the only way that people would believe the word that the apostles were walking around telling them about Jesus was if they could perform those miracles also. And that is why it's called the Acts. And the reason it's the Acts is because the Holy Spirit was residing within those guys, and they were able to do the miracles that Jesus did. Because, you know, Jesus even said he came doing whatever the Father told him to do. He was able to do miracles. People knew that the only one who could do a miracle was God. They already knew that. So when Jesus came doing miracles, that was Jesus, what you want to call it, his card. You know, when you go to meet people, they would give you, let me give you my card. That was Jesus' card. That was his introduction to the world, that he was the manifestation of God himself. He was God in the flesh because he could do miracles. And we all know only people who can do miracles is God. So he came. Now the Acts of the Apostles, talking about the apostles, they are at this time engaging in that same act. And they came and they were doing miracles also. Along with the fact that they did miracles, they said the apostles, they went back to Jerusalem and they witnessed there before a group of people, probably 120. And it was during this time that the Holy Spirit came on them, and they came endued with the power of the Holy Spirit. And they were speaking other languages. That was another. That's how it is. Well, what is going on? How is it that I can understand him? He's speaking my language. Suddenly he's here. He's not knowledgeable in this. But I can understand him. I know what he is saying. Acts 2 comes along. And a lot of what was said in Acts 1 is fulfilled in Acts 2. Tells us, 2:16, Peter witnessed to them by explaining from Joel that God poured forth out of his spirit onto his own bondservants. They can be young, they can be old, they can be men, and they can be women. It's God's business. He's the one who pours forth his spirit on his children. Peter, I have to keep remembering we're talking about Peter right now. We haven't gotten into Paul yet. He doesn't come until later in the book of Acts. He told them how they had witnessed the death of Jesus. And he said that Jesus was both Lord and Christ. And he told them that God had raised him. And that he and the rest and the 11, and it says, and that he and the 11 were witnesses. But we have to remember, I want to say that by now Judas is dead. So Peter is the 11th. They were witnesses to this because they were there and they saw that Jesus had been crucified. They knew he had been laid in a tomb. They knew that after 3 days he was raised again. They knew it because they had walked around with him and he had sat and he had eaten with them. And some people say, are we going to eat in heaven? Oh yeah, we're going to eat because Jesus ate. So I think that cheesecake gonna sound pretty good. I won't gain weight. Y'all understand what I'm saying? There are things that happen here. It's gonna be great when we get to heaven. So, but anyway, this is just a little review that I want to do, and then I'm gonna pop on in over to chapter 3 because we're getting into our lesson for today. And our message today deals with my subject today is going